All right, good afternoon, everybody. We're going to start Unit 6 today, so we're just going to do Lesson 1. So Unit 6 is about all things radicals, which is really like square roots and stuff, and we're also going to talk about like third roots, fourth roots, and so on. But before we really get into that and everything about roots, we are going to kind of go back to just functions. So this is stuff that we have done before, but we're going to do a little bit more with this on Friday, something that we haven't seen. So for today, while I'm not there, this first part is, again, just something you've seen before and just kind of refreshing your memory. So as far as functions go, right, like f of x, g of x, you might have variables in there. You might be asked to evaluate. So just kind of going over some different things with functions. So you have two functions here. So there's an f function and then there's also a g function. Okay, so this first question is asking you to find f of 3. So again, this is something we've done before. You also did it in Algebra 1. Just remember, whatever number is in the parentheses, that's always replacing the x. So this is just asking you to plug in 3 for x. Okay, and then this letter tells you what function to plug it into. So I'm going to say to the f function. Okay, so on mine, that's the green one. So anywhere I see an x, I'm just going to plug in a 3. And then this is just something that you can go do in your calculator. Okay, so yes, you could go type that in. 3 squared is 9, 4 times 3 is 12, and then negative 3 plus 3. Oh, this actually ends up being 0. Okay, we've done that before. So just kind of bumping that up a step, I could ask you to do two functions. So f of 5 minus g of 4. So that's just asking you to do two different things. So find f of 5 first. So just like we did the first one. So if I plug in 5, so it's going to be 5 squared minus 4 times 5 plus 3. Okay, before I do anything with the g function, I'm just going to find what that number is. So again, you could just type this in your calculator. I'm just going to do it because it's not that bad. So 5 squared is 25 minus 20, that's 5. Plus 3, we get 8. Okay, so that is the f function. So that is 8. Then you can go ahead and find the g function. Okay, which means plug in 4, but now you're going to plug that into the g function. So I'm going to go 2 times 4 minus 1. Okay, 2 times 4 is 8, minus 1 is 7. Okay, so I'm going to plug that in right here. And then the question that this was asking was to subtract. So all this is asking you to do is 8 minus 7, which is 1. Okay, so 1 and 2 are really the same thing. Either evaluate one function or 2 and then do something with it. Okay, number 3 is different because this one doesn't have numbers in the parentheses. It's just the x's. So this is just asking you to add the two functions together. So if I take the f function, it's saying leave the x's there. And then it says plus the g function. Well, the g function is 2x minus 1. So all this one is asking you to do is combine like terms. Okay, there's nothing that you can solve for like the other ones because you didn't plug in numbers, so it's just combine like terms. So this is x squared, and then negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2x, and then 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, so you're not getting like a number answer, you're just simplifying. Okay, so number 4, same thing. This one's just the other way around, and it's subtraction. So this says take the g function, which is 2x minus 1, and then subtract the f function. Now, we've done this before. Whenever you subtract, you got to put the second thing in parentheses. So x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, and then just ask yourself, what do those parentheses mean? That means we have to distribute the negative sign. Okay, so this becomes 2x minus 1 minus x squared. Negative times a negative is a positive, and then minus 3. Okay, and then it's just combine your like terms and put everything in standard form. So like the negative x squared would go first. There's a 2x and a 4x, that's 6x. And then negative 1 plus negative 3, that's negative 4. And that's your answer. Okay. The other thing, so we've done evaluating, we've done adding, subtracting. The last thing is multiplying. Okay, so if I ask you to multiply, this one says take the g function, which is 2x minus 1, and multiply by the f function, which is x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, so now again, we're not evaluating anything, we're simplifying. So when you're multiplying, I got to distribute. So I need to multiply the 2x to everything on the other side. So 2x times x squared is 2x to the third. 2x times negative 4x is negative 8x squared. And then 2x times 3 is 6x. Okay, then you go the other way. So negative 1 times everything. So that's negative x squared plus 4x, because a negative times a negative. And then negative 3. Okay, so distribute, done that before. Combine your like terms. So 2x to the third, and then minus 9x squared plus 10x, and then minus 3. Okay, last one's an easier one, actually. So you've done add, subtract, multiply. So last one's divide. Okay, so take the g function, which is 2x minus 1. It says divide by the f function, which is x squared minus 4x plus 3. Okay, what you could do is try to factor. So like technically the bottom of this, you could do x game. And what multiplies to 3 adds to negative 4 would be negative 3 and negative 1. And then the bottom I can't do anything with. And there's nothing that's going to cancel, right? The x minus 1s don't cancel because there's a 2 attached to the one on the top. So this is actually my final answer. That's it. Okay. So that's kind of all of it for today is can you evaluate? So it's like numbers 1 and 2. And can you do the operations? That's like 3 through 6. Okay. So right now, if the sub could maybe pause the video in a moment, you got 3 different functions here. So there's a new f, a new g, and then a new h. So there's a third function. If the sub could maybe pause this for maybe like a good 5 minutes right now, and have everybody try 7, 8, 9, and 10 with those 3 functions. Just 5 minutes, hit pause, and then come back, hit play, and we'll check our answers. All right, ready, go. Okay, so hopefully everybody had a chance to try some of these. So number 7 is a lot like number 2. So this says g of 3. So go to the g function, plug in 3. So it's 3 plus 2, which is 5. So you get 5 here. And then go to the h function, which is 2x plus 7. So you're going to plug in negative 2. That's negative 4 plus 7, which is 3. So you get 3, and then this is asking you to add. So you're doing 5 plus 3, which is a final answer of 8. Okay, so check that one. Number 8, you were asked to subtract. So that one was like number 4. So if you do the f function, that was 3x minus 5, and then minus the h function. Just remember when you subtract, you have to put that second one in parentheses always because you're subtracting the whole thing, not just the first term. Distribute the negative, and then combine like terms. So 3x minus 2x is 1x, and then negative 5 minus 7 is negative 12. Okay, so check that one. Number 9 is just like number 5. So again, multiplying. So this says do f times g. So that's 3x minus 5 times x plus 2. Okay, so again, distribute. So 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times 2 is 6x. Negative 5x and negative 10. Okay, there's 2 like terms in the middle, so hopefully you combine those. And that's your answer. Okay, and then you had one more subtraction question. So h of x, that one's 2x minus 7 minus, again, always put the second one in parentheses, the g function, which is x plus 2. Distribute the negative. So this is 2x minus 7 minus x minus 2. Okay, so that's x minus 9. Okay, so again, that had nothing to do with radicals, but it is a good refresher on function notation because we're going to do stuff with square roots, cube roots, fourth roots, all that stuff in a little bit, and this is good to remember for that. Okay, so at this point, you're going to have some time to work on the first exit slip for Unit 6. And this is a new unit, right? So let's get a fresh start on exit slips. We're not behind on anything yet. So get this one done in class. You have more than enough time today. So I should be seeing this done for everybody that's here. So you're going to do this. And then when you are done, the sub's going to hand out a maze activity. And you are going to turn that in. Okay, so you really have two things that you're doing today. The exit slip and then the maze. Okay, and you are going to turn that into the sub. And I'll take a look at those. Okay, and then on Friday we're going to do lesson 2, which is kind of something brand new with functions that we haven't done before. Okay, email me if you need anything, but you guys should be good to go. All right, thanks.